I had a serious drug problem and I had a serious alcohol problem, and I was gang raped and beaten by a whole group of older guys. That's all coming up as the championships of the NCAA continue.
At its best, competition gives athletes a chance to reach beyond what they've known, to change themselves from people who might to people who have. At the Division III Indoor Championships, the teams from Wisconsin are loaded with those who have. The Oshkosh women have won 3 straight team titles. On the men's side, the Wisconsin Lacrosse Eagles have stacked up 6 consecutive championships. But change is inevitable, and a catalytic field of challengers makes Terre Haute a likely setting for the making of new champions. However, nobody expects much from the women of Williams College. After heavy losses to graduation, head coach Ralph White is most likely focused on rebuilding. To the national championships, he's only brought 8 athletes, among them junior Maddy Outman, a young woman with a lifetime's worth of rebuilding experience.
When I was a kid, probably like 13, 14, I had a serious drug problem. I got tangled up with the wrong people and ended up going through some really, really horrific sexual abuse. Even when things were really, really bad for me, I always sort of was determined somehow to get myself out of it and get to a different place.
Outman's journey to a better place began in the desperate 8-second bursts of her sport.
Track was something that sort of helped me wake up every morning. Track helped me get my life together, but still when I came to college as a freshman, I took a lot of steps backward.
She always came dressed in black. She was always, eyes were down, head was down, and she wasn't smiling. So I knew something was wrong.
I had a very serious alcohol problem. I developed an eating disorder. So I was extremely thin and unhealthy and drinking too much, and I just really had no friends. It was like a really sad time. And then to top it off, sort of in my freshman year of college, I was assaulted and I couldn't run for the rest of the year. That was probably my rock bottom moment.
Ralph White has coached 15 Olympians and 300 All-Americans, but his most important work may have been with Outman.
Coach White was always somebody who I could go to and I wasn't embarrassed to sort of tell him the kinds of things that I was dealing with. And I mean, he was willing to talk to me every day.
When we were recruiting Maddy, I was not aware of the things that happened in her background prior to her arrival at Williams. But once she did show up, things started surfacing. I think her freshman year she scored 8 points during the whole season. And a lot of that, again, was just self-confidence or the lack of self-confidence and her own perception, the self-image.
Our coach has played a big part in her transformation, if you want to say, from a shy little freshman, just trying to find her place, really, at Williams. And he really took her in and turned her into a really good athlete.
He was really the only other person for a while that I felt like really believed that I could be somebody. And I think that was probably the single most helpful thing in getting me to turn around and sort of embrace that attitude.
Here's someone who was, off the deep end, so to speak. And now, I think she's convinced. She has that confidence now, or at least she's getting it. She's very determined, and now she realizes, hey, I'm worth something.
I absolutely would say that it saved my life. I have no doubt that I would be dead in a gutter somewhere if it wasn't for track and sort of what sports has brought to me.
In a much better freshman in the men's team competition, Pennsylvania's Lincoln in a much better place than her 1-point freshman season. Maddy Outman scores in all 4 events she enters. Her 4-time All-American performance concludes with a leg in the hard-fought 4x400 relay. In a stunning turn of events, the 8 women from Williams take home the Ephs' first ever indoor track title. Yes, Miss Outman, you are a champion. Let Maddy's story be a lesson for all of us. There's no adversity that cannot be overcome as long as we have the courage to face it head on.
Stay with us as the championships continue.